guys, it's Elizabeth, Finding Elizabeth. Okay, I've been on a hangout with Betty Lou Who and Amy for about an hour and a half, and I did have a few sangrias. So just saying. And I met Patty for lunch earlier in the day, and I had a sangria then too. So forgive me. Anyway, this is my week 67 post-op vertical sleeve gastrectomy update. My starting weight in January of 2014 was 402 pounds. My weight at surgery on April 14th, 2014 was 360.6 pounds. My weight last week was 211.2 pounds. My weight this week was 211.4 pounds. Fuck! Sorry. Pardon my French. Things are going very, 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 very slow. For the last 3 weeks, I have been basically at the same weight. This is due to nothing other than the things that I have chosen to eat and the fact that I haven't exercised every day. So totally responsible for it, reasonably okay with it. But Melly May posted something this week about whether you were, I don't know, like something like describing the difference between being interested in a process and being committed to a process. Yeah, I've been more interested in the weight loss process than I have been committed to it. So hence the reason I haven't lost weight in 3 weeks. But that's where I'm at, and so that is 190.6 pounds since my highest weight in January of 2014, 149.2 pounds since surgery, and a gain of 0.2 pounds since last week. Yada, yada, yada. I have been reporting my average nutrition stats. I fell off the MyFitnessPal wagon last week because I had a lot of events and I was out a lot eating food that I wouldn't normally eat and drinking several nights of the week. So I sort of said screw it. But back on track tomorrow. I swear. I promise. Who am I swearing to? Myself? I promise myself that I will be back on track tomorrow. So I'm looking at my notes from last week, and I have lots of shout outs, but I'll get to that at the end. So some NSVs that I had this week, and there were quite a few. Number one was one of the things that I think about as it relates to plastic surgery is this fear that I have about if I have plastic surgery, I won't go back to exercising. It has taken me 49 years to get to a point in my life where I actually enjoy exercising and feel good when I do it. It doesn't kill me. I don't die. I like it. I like the way it makes me feel. And I see a lot of people who exercised pre-op and then they have plastic surgery and then they don't necessarily go back at it the same way. So it's something that's been in the back of my mind. I'm not ready for plastic surgery. I still have 50 pounds to lose. I don't have, doesn't look pretty under the clothes, but I don't have skin that gets in the way of me doing anything. I mean, it's really all cosmetic. If I were to have plastic surgery, it would be strictly for cosmetic reasons. I don't know why I can't talk. I really didn't have that many sangrias. But one of the things I realized last week that was sort of an NSV to me was that scarcity feeling is going away. I've always lived my life on a scarcity basis, no matter what it was related to. If I was having a good time, I would think, oh, I need to hang on to this because I'm never going to have a good time like this. If I was feeling particularly loved or appreciated, oh, I need to hang on to this because this is never going to happen again. Well, what I realized last week was fitness is part of my life now. It's not going to go away. It is a regular, wonderful, enjoyable part of my life, and I don't have to be quite so worried that I'm going to do something that's going to end it. It's an ebb and flow. There are weeks I'm going to exercise more, there are weeks I'm going to exercise less, but it is a regular part of my life now, and that was kind of cool. So that was sort of an NSV. Another NSV I had was I fit into a size 12 pair of pants. And these were my stepdaughter's pants. So that was weird for numerous reasons. One, I don't think I ever recall being below a size 14. And I think part of this has to do with vanity sizing because I have weighed significantly less than I weigh right now and have been in a size 14. So, but I've never exercised like I have now. But I do think the sizes are bigger now. But so size 12. I haven't shopped in plus size stores in a really long time, but you can buy size 14s in plus size stores. You cannot buy size 12s in plus size stores that I'm aware of. So that was like a big shift. And the idea that I was wearing the same thing as my stepdaughter. The thought that I am her same size is like remarkable. And I actually went out to lunch with a friend last week and showed them. I was talking to her about it, and she didn't know my stepdaughter, and I showed her a picture. And the one, I don't think this is true across the board, that I'm smaller than she is, but in this one picture that I was showing my friend, it's like, oh wow, look at that. I actually look a little bit smaller than she does. Huh? Excuse me? Excuse me? How did that happen? I don't know. That's very bizarre. But the opposite side of that NSV was that I noticed some self-sabotage right after that. That night, all of a sudden, I was wanting to eat everything in the house. I wanted pizza. I wanted things that I don't normally eat. And I think that's just part of my natural self-sabotage, because there are so many things. I was talking to my dad about this, who's been overweight his whole life, on Friday, and he was talking about how when somebody mentions to him, and he's lost, probably without weight loss surgery, he's lost about 50 pounds since I've had surgery, but he really doesn't like people to comment on it. And he was telling me of an experience where his neighbor commented on it, and immediately after that he went to 7-Eleven and bought Cokes. And I feel like that's sort of what I do. I think so many things in my life I've blamed on my weight that all of a sudden I'm starting to realize that, well, maybe this isn't going to be an issue forever. And what happens when it's not an issue forever? Then I can't blame things on it. And he was like, well, what do you mean? And an example I gave him is like, for most of my career, I have been the best number 2 person. But I've never wanted to be number 1. If it ever came up where I could interview for the number 1 position, I would find a reason not to, or why I didn't want to. It's like, oh, interesting. Well, if I lose all the weight, maybe then I have to let myself be number 1. I don't know that I still don't know that I want to be number 1, because I like consulting and what I do, but it's just that whole idea that all these things I sort of blamed on me not doing because of my weight are sort of disappearing. Okay, so one more NSV. This was interesting. I had thought about it one way, and then, as I mentioned, I had lunch with Patty today, and she kind of presented it to me in a different way. She presented it, I swear I am not drunk. She presented it as, I passed over to normal last week, both from my own impression and from the impression of other people. So what does that mean? Well, from my impression, it means that I went to an event on Friday night that was kind of like a reunion of people from an organization that was really pivotal in my career. And I hadn't seen some of those people in 15 years. Others I hadn't seen in like a year, but everybody pretty much knew of my weight loss, except for the like 1 or 2 people who were on Facebook, because I shout it from the rooftops. But when I looked at the pictures the next day that we had taken that night, what I saw was, for the first time ever, I saw me in a row of people. And I'll try to see, well, no, I'm not, never mind. I was going to say, I'll try to see if I can put the picture in here, but I'm not going to do that because it takes too long, but I'll post it on my Facebook page. I looked at myself in comparison to these people, and for the first time ever, I thought I look normal. I'm not the biggest, I'm not the smallest, I'm like in the middle, and I feel like I look normal for the first time ever in my whole life. So that's cool. But so what about from other people's perspective? So I'm not sure how I feel about this thing. I guess it's an NSV, but it sort of pissed me off. So within the past 2 weeks, probably, I think, 3 men who I have been friends with for years and years and years and years, who are married, have asked me this question. So, are you dating? Do you know that, well, I became probably super morbidly obese when I was 30 or 31. So it's been almost 20 years now. Do you know that in 20 years no one has asked me that question until the last couple of weeks? And it's happened 3 times from men. So it sort of pissed me off because, I don't know, maybe it shouldn't piss me off, but it pissed me off because, okay, obviously, although you're married and not interested, you're actually looking at me as dating material for the first time ever in 20 years. I haven't known all of them 20 years, but I've known them for a long time. And I don't know how to feel about that. So, like, it sort of pissed me off. Um, but what? I know that men would not look at me and think I was dateable before, so I'm not exactly sure why it pisses me off, but it just sort of does. But what really pissed me off was then I said, no, do you know anybody? And they didn't. No, I'm just sort of kidding. Patty said my response should be, no, I'm not dating. I'm just fucking people all the time. Ooh, pardon my French. No, Patty never said the F word. She would not say the F word. I'm just sleeping with people all the time. I don't know. It was just interesting and it stuck out in my mind. So from one perspective, I feel like, okay, maybe I'm normal. Maybe I look normal now. Maybe men who I run into would look at me and think that I am dateable, when that's not something I've been for a very long time. And even before I was morbidly or super morbidly obese, I didn't think I was dateable because I had a really fucked up perception of how I looked. Now, I don't know. I think I'm relatively attractive and a pretty good catch. So, oh, hold on, I dropped my glasses and I have to read my shout outs. So I think that's all of my NSVs. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, shout outs. It's time for shout outs. Jenny VSG is having her, already had her surgery on July 21. Congratulations, Jenny. I hope you're feeling awesome. CC VSG is 100 pounds down, I'm sure by now. She was posting incrementally. I don't actually know if she's 100 pounds down, but she will be by the time I make my next video. Trisha, from the Pretty Little Losers, is in the 300s, and that is so awesome. Gretchen, I just want to give her a shout out because she is such an awesome, sweet, sweet supporter. I watch videos often like first thing in the morning when I'm laying in bed before I really want to get up. And last week I turned on her video and I sort of fell asleep while I was watching it. And then I woke up to hear her say that I looked much younger than I was. So that was awesome. But anyway, Gretchen has always been such a great supporter. So I just want to say thank you and shout her out. She is looking awesome. Natalie, Frenchy Girl in the USA, hit her high school weight, which I think was her weight goal, so congratulations. It was Gracie, no one stopping me but me's birthday, and she's getting ready for surgery, so excited for that. Dennis Vinay is also getting ready for his surgery in a few days. Jennifer Mahoney, who I absolutely love, I met at, where did I meet her? WLSFA. She and her husband Kevin closed on their loan for their new house, which is awesome. Jenny, Jenny, who is somebody I knew before I had weight loss surgery, has lost half of the weight to her goal. She's going to have a bunch of stuff because she's getting ready to hit a couple of milestones, so I'll probably be talking about her for a while. My friend Jen, who I also knew outside of the weight loss surgery community, is having VSG in Mexico, I believe on August 11th, so congratulations to her. There's so many really exciting things happening for people, so I'm just really excited for everybody. All right, I think that's it. Thank you guys all for everything. You are such a wonderful and huge support to me. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye. Touchscreen doesn't...